Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Maggie. Today we're going to be doing a makeup look inspired by the movie How to Steal a Million starring Audrey Hepburn and Peter O'Toole. Monsieur Bonnet has a legendary art collection. He sells select works for great prices at auction and lends others to the museums for special exhibits. His father also was in the art business, but the Bonnets have a secret. They're forgers, not collectors. When a Venus statue, supposedly sculpted by Cellini, but actually sculpted by Bonnet's father, goes on display, Bonnet's daughter, Nicole, is filled with worry. Will it be found out as a fake? Rather than take the chances, she teams up with an expert society burglar, Simon, to steal the statue back from a museum where it is on loan. This is the look that I wanted to do today. It's from the scene where they're at the bar and she's like incognito, but she looks the most glamorous ever. And it's like this very 60s glitter cut crease vibe. I've always wanted to try it, and today was the day. I go in with the Lethal Cosmetics TV Dinner, the Theresa is Dead collection, and this is the perfect silver for this look. It was kind of hard to see under the mask what color it is, also with the photos, but I would say it's definitely like a silver. I start by going in over my entire lid with that TV Dinner silver shade, and then I also take my little angled flat brush and carve out a wing shape. The makeup artist that created this look was named Alberto De Rossi. He's an Italian makeup artist, and he worked with so many beautiful women just like Audrey, Elizabeth Taylor, Valentina Cortese, and many more. Few actresses had such an influence on fashion of the 50s and 60s as Audrey Hepburn. To this very day, the items she popularized decades ago have remained essential to every woman's wardrobe because true style has no age. I really love this movie. I love all of Audrey's movies, but this one's like really fun, suspenseful, kind of thriller, but also really funny. It's packed full of stunning architecture, fashion, makeup, everything you ever want in a very 1960s kind of mod movie. Now we're going to go in with some really thick black eyeliner. I'm going in with the Stila Stay All Day black waterproof eyeliner, and we're gonna go ahead and do a cat eye on each eye before we start doing the graphic line on top. You could also do this with black eyeshadow if you're more comfortable doing it that way, but I'm so used to doing eyeliner every day. This is really easy for me. I was a little worried about the graphic part, but it's actually a lot easier than I thought. And when you look at her photos, the makeup isn't like super precise and the lines aren't super crisp, so if it's not perfect, it doesn't really matter because Audrey's wasn't perfect either. Now that we've completed those cat eyes, it's on to the graphic part. So you're going to take that same liner, and I lightly sketched at first because I was a little worried, and you just follow the natural arc of your eyelid crease, and then you almost connect it at the tip, but you leave it open. So it's almost like you have a double wing on. And obviously you can tell this is like kind of messy, not perfect, but the perfect thing about this eyeshadow is it's super pigmented. I was able to just go right in and go over those lines that I messed up, and it covered it completely. Then I used a wet wipe, but you could also use a pointed Q-tip that was saturated in some makeup remover and clean up those messed up lines, and that really helps clean up the look. And I also went underneath my eyes and cleaned up any fallout. The only thing I didn't do in the makeup was drag the black underneath my eye and connect it. I don't know why I forgot to do this, but also my eyes, I would say, are on the smaller side, so it really would have just closed them off. So if you want to go in and connect it at the end of this, definitely go ahead and try. I'm going to do it later just to see if that would even look good on me. But this could be more of an everyday rather than like super smoky, where it would be underneath your waterline. As you can see in the photo here, it's very much giving that fox eye trend where it like points in the inner corner, but obviously I didn't do that. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. This was actually my first time trying it, and I was just like super pumped about how it turned out, so I think I got so excited that I forgot. But there is the completed eye look. Now we're going to go in with some mascara, and we're going to use the Item Beauty Lash Slick Lengthening Mascara. This is swiftly becoming one of my favorite mascaras. It is exactly what it says, super lengthening, and I even find it very volumizing too. You could obviously stop here and just use mascara, but the 60s and 50s were all about those big thick lashes, so they definitely wore false lashes. So I went in with these Kiss Luxtensions in Cashmere. These are the type of lashes that are supposed to replicate lash extensions, and I got them on sale for $5, so we love that. The only thing I don't love about these are the band is like super thick, but they are stunning, so it really doesn't matter to me. But I always think it's kind of funny how trends are coming back. I feel like 60s makeup is really back in, wearing lashes is really back in, and that was very heavy in the 60s. Now we're going to go in and fill in our brows with the NYX Lift and Snatch, and then we'll use the Half Cake to Get Fluffed Brow Gel in the shade 4 to shape them into place. I tried to go a little bit more boxy, a little bit more like Audrey's. I really like this Lift and Snatch pen from NYX. I just think I need to get a darker shade. It's just looking a little too warm on my eyebrows. Audrey had some very iconic eyebrows. I feel like they kind of changed in shape through the years. In this movie, I feel like they were a little bit more archy than they used to be. A little bit more feathered towards the end. Definitely have been thinned out a little bit, but still pretty full. Now we're gonna go in with the e.l.f. Good Vibes Only Soft Velvet Primer. Felt like this was the perfect packaging to go with the movie, very retro, and this is a newer collection from e.l.f. and I wanted to try out the primer, and it is just as it says, super blurring. I love this stuff. I can tell I'm gonna be using this tube up until it's empty. It really reminds me of the number 7 tinted skin perfector that I love, but without any of the like pigment in it. It's just a clear dimethicone kind of pore filling vibe, but it's super blurring. And I loved how the foundation I use here in a second layered over it. It just looked so smooth and seamless, like I had no pores. Now we're going to go in with the Revolution Makeup Super Serum Hyaluronic Acid Foundation. I found this at my Walmart. They sell this now. They also put NYX in my Walmart, which was nice to see because they have a lot of good stuff. And I decided to use my fingers to rub this in today because I really wanted to get a feel of what this foundation felt like. And it is, like it says, it's very hydrating, but even though it's a serum foundation, I felt like it had a very good amount of coverage to it and never looked too cakey or makeup-y on my skin. And the combo of it with the e.l.f. primer was so beautiful. The 60s were really popular with wearing really thick foundation, but towards the end of the 60s is when women started wearing less makeup and they wanted to embrace their natural skin. Audrey once wrote a note to Estee Lauder saying she starts and ends her day with them, so I'm assuming she used a Estee Lauder foundation, which can be pretty full coverage. Like I said, I got this makeup foundation at Walmart for $4.98, but you can also order it online on their website, and I feel like the shade range is kind of shit, not gonna lie. It says it has 10, but then when I Google it, then I see there's more shades that are darker, so I'm very confused on that. But if there really is 10, that's not very good. I feel like since this is a serum foundation, you could definitely drop a few drops of this into your SPF or your favorite moisturizer and do a nice tinted moisturizer instead of a more full coverage like it gives right there. But as you can tell, I was pretty impressed. My skin looks poreless. I didn't really cover that honker visit on my chin, but that's okay. It is a serum, so I didn't expect it to. We're going with the LYS Triple Fix Concealer. Got this in my BoxyCharm. So far, loving it. It doesn't settle into my creases. It's not too drying. It's the perfect tone for me. Love the packaging. I've said this before. It also gives vintage vibes, so it was definitely the perfect concealer to pair with this movie makeup. To set everything down, we're going in with the Wet n Wild 5-in-1 Essence Primer Finishing Powder. I have another one from Wet n Wild that I really like, but I wanted to try this out, and it's definitely a good powder. It's more for finishing powders, but I never really use those. I just use one powder and I'm done. But it definitely has a nice blurring texture to it. I think if I'm going to compare it to anything, I'm going to compare it to the e.l.f. finishing powder, and I think I like that one just a little bit more. It just has more blurring powder than this one, so definitely check that one out, and that one's even cheaper than this. I think it's only like $3. The packaging on it could be improved though. Mine has already broke. We're going to go ahead and carve our cheeks out. Audrey had a stunning, like, architectural face, very chiseled, great jawline. So we're going to chisel our cheeks, chisel our jawline, our forehead, and our nose. I did have in common with Audrey that we both didn't like our nose, which is crazy because she is stunning. From what I can read, the 60s makeup, they didn't use highlighter, they didn't use bronzer, and they had absolutely no contour. They already had the cheekbones for it, so I'm going to use contour. I used the Kaleidos Symphony Contour Trio in light. I'm obsessed with this, and it also gives retro kind of futuristic vibes, which was definitely very heightened in the late 1960s. It was very like space age, very futuristic, modern vibes. Women in the 60s would typically apply matte foundations, brightening concealers, and set their makeup with a setting powder to make the base even more matte. So super matte. So dry skin girlies, I am feeling really sorry for you because I bet that wasn't fun. For blushes, they really used soft pinks and corals. I'm going in with this Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush. It's giving duping M Cosmetics blushes. I got a few of these, but I'm using the shade Cool Coral, which I thought was the perfect soft coral for the 1960s. This does have a slight glow, very slight, but that's okay. We don't have to be completely accurate to the 60s because I do go in with highlighter, which was not a thing. I'm really loving this blush. I have a few different shades, which I'll probably use in my next video, but they definitely are duping the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow Radiant Veil blushes. I've always wanted those, but $34? Hell no, when I can get these for $5.99. And I just used my little powder puff to dye down the blush just a little since I went a little overboard. We're gonna go in with my Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Wherever Walnut. I do have a dupe of this, so I'll link it right underneath. It's a Sephora lip liner pencil, but I whipped this one out today. In the 60s, I would say nude pastel kind of pink lips were more popular, and the one that she's using in the photo is definitely more of a beigey nude. So I would say I went a little bit darker than that, but I did lighten it in the end using concealer. Now that I saw that photo again, hers is more of a beige baby doll pink, which does not look good on me. So we're gonna go with what looks good on me. Still like a nudie beige. If you're like me and you don't wear like really light lipsticks, the best tip is to just use your concealer to lighten your lipsticks. But to top that lip liner off, we're gonna go in with the CoverGirl Outlast liquid lipstick in the shade 920 Medium Cool. Another shade that would be really good for this is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Rebel Rose. It has more of that like baby doll kind of cool toned pink, but that is the lip I decided to go with. And I did, like I said, lighten it with my concealer just to beige it out some more, give it some more lightness like they did. Nothing too crazy. There is the completed lip. I'm loving it. Very 1960s woman. And there is the completed, oh no, we're gonna go in with the highlighter now. And yes, that was a no-no in the 1960s. They didn't know what highlighter was, but I do, so we're gonna put it on. And we're gonna use the Rare Beauty Positive Light highlighter in the shade Enlighten. And now that is the completed look. I am obsessed. I look like a futuristic mod queen, very Audrey Hepburn. I was very excited that I was able to do this in one, like I didn't even practice this. I was very excited about my skills, and I was feeling like a mod queen. I should have completed the look with the giant silver earrings like she wore. I have some like it, but instead I'm using my Pasta Lisa Sega earrings, but those are fun too. Maybe doesn't go with the look, but they're still cute. Here is some more shots of the eye makeup up close and in the sunlight. I'm still super impressed with this, and I was able to recreate it. You could do this with any colors, but this was just me trying to mimic the movie, and you should go watch the movie. It's a lot of fun, super cute. The fashion will just get you. It makes you want to go to Paris real bad. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep doing this series. I think my next queen I'm going to do is Sharon Tate, because I've always found her makeup really fun. And then maybe I'll do Twiggy. And if you guys have any suggestions of some movie makeup that you want me to do, write it down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you. Bye.